Alright, so quick update. Spent all night out here, all day really, into the night, got dark, working all this. I unfortunately did not get a lot of it on video, or I think any, because the GoPro has taken a shit, and this is extremely difficult with my phone. So, as you can see, the differential's in all the pieces. We got new bearings, new carrier bearings, and races. Well, we got new bearings all the way around for everything, and new races, and that's where I got to last night. I got the pinion races started to be installed, and then I messed up, and I reinstalled one of the old races. So, what I'm doing this morning, it out so that I can install the correct one, which is right over here. So, this is the guy. That's my forward pinion race. And the bearing to match. And as you can see over here, is our rear pinion with the race to match. Rear pinion bearing with the race to match. So, that's all done over there. We just gotta do this. That really sucks. I know when it gets dark that I should stop working. But I had a light. I thought I was gonna be okay. I gotta get my situation better. But anyway, we'll address that a little later because I'm not going to be working out of this shop for a whole lot longer. Once the truck is done and out of here, we're going to move to that over there. And so first we're going to address wiring on it, and then wiring on that, as well as some wiring on that. And yeah, kind of excited. I made huge progress with the truck yesterday. Thanks to Dad for helping me, Yeah, we'll get that done here hopefully this week. Start on the Daytona. And I don't know, fingers crossed. I have a pretty good feeling, so we'll see. Wish me luck. I'll see you. I was going to show in the last one and forgot the parts that I used. So I'm really happy with them. We'll find out after a few miles how well they last. But there's a part number if anybody wants it. They do sell these with new ring and pinion, new gears and everything. I just got the bearings, shims, crush collar, all that stuff. So anyway, what I wound up doing the first time around, unfortunately, I was buying all singlets because you know how it goes. You think you only need one, then you need another one, and then you're elbow deep in the differential. You may as well just replace them all. So here's everything I need to rebuild that Chrysler 9 1/4 that I bought one at a time, piece by piece. The only thing that didn't come in that kit that I'm doing, well, because I'm doing new bearings and seals on the outer, so I'll need to get a new set of both bearings and seals, and then I'll have everything to rebuild another Chrysler 9 1/4, of which I have several. There's Dad's over there. There's, you can't see out there, but there's a blue one out there. And yeah, so having the parts on hand is going to be good. I don't regret buying them, but it always sucks when the last minute you finally find this guy. Because you should have taken more time probably looking for parts in the first place. Anyway, moving on. The bearing that was causing all this howl, which, by the way, all this started with bad brakes. One of the brakes, the hoses blew up. So it soaked everything, had to redo the brakes. You know how it goes, falls apart from there. Anyway, so here is a source of our noise. As you can see, there was a lot of it. That's bizarre to me, the way it just stops. But now we know, and we're almost done. So, gonna get back to it. I gotta knock that race back out, get the right one back in. Maybe by the end of the day. Probably not. I got places to be this afternoon, but we'll see. See where I get. Good morning. Here we are with an update on how far we got with the truck yesterday. It snowed last night. Unfortunately, I know it's only February and we're likely to get a lot more. But it was nice having nice weather. Anyway, so I had a dinner to go to yesterday. I was not able to get as much done as I wanted to. But got everything mocked up in there. You can see some of it. You can see the pinions in gently, because setting the new crush sleeve is going to take 210 pound-feet, and I'm not ready to do that until I set the gear lash. It's quite a process. Anyway, I don't want to do all that until I've gotten this tube clean. As you can see, it's not. I don't want to do this again on this truck. It's been 6 months. Maybe not quite, but it sure as hell feels like it. So gonna make sure everything's nice and clean, shiny, new, and put it all back together. But before that, I've got to get more brake clean to do that. So Mom and Dad are going to town today. Pick up a couple more cans for me, and while they're doing that, I'll get those bearings pulled. Hopefully. I gotta find my puller. I can't seem to find that one. Alright, so we got the differential back out and the retainer for the differential, or gear lash retainer. I don't know. I'll show you real quick. I don't think I showed you before. I had Mopar sells this tool, and by fancy I mean it's really just a rod of steel. Anyway, they're pretty expensive. I'm a cheap ass, so what I did is I welded my own out of scrap steel. So what you do is put that obviously on the end of your ratchet, and that goes in and ties into this fella right here and turns it all, and that's how you adjust your gear lash, is threading this in and or out, side to side, both sides, in some fancy order. It's a pain in the ass. We'll get there later, but I thought I'd show you the tool, show you can save some money if you're like I am and 100 miles from town or whatever. But there's the adjustment for the gear lash. It sits up against the bearing race over here and pushes or pulls the differential side to side. That's how you get that all done up. In case you can't tell from my tone of voice, I'm not looking forward to that, but we're almost there. Anyway, moving on, and we're gonna try this little configuration if I can find my tools. That's lovely. Here. So here is part of my setup we're going to be using in there, because I can't seem to find the right stuff, so we might do with what we got. This is, I forget what they call this set. It is a bearing puller slash it will install. This size is 08, and I'm going to put that in through from the center out to the outer with my handy dandy extension tool there. And once that's through, we'll take all this off, put this on, and we'll pull the bad boys out. It's probably gonna take some wiggling and wobbling. I'm kind of hopeful with this, but if it doesn't work, there's no chance in hell. Like, I'm not even gonna bother trying for a second time. So we will find out. If it works, I will show you how it looks all put together. seems to be working. I've already gotten a few cranks on it. It's not hurting. It's not making any funny noises. Not spinning on the inside. Oh yeah, just eased up. So, before I got the camera out, I did do this one. Might not be necessary this time, but I'll show you anyway, because so far this is seeming to go a lot better than a lot of people have luck. So I just, right there on the edge of the axle tube, this is I don't remember what kind. It's a soft stripe pin. It's not brass though. So last time I did this, I noticed a big difference next time I cranked on it. Yeah. So probably wasn't necessary, but definitely helped. We gotta be getting close. It'll get interesting. I don't want to hear anything about the crescent wrench. It's been around a long time. Yeah. So this is where we go back and make adjustments. I knew that was going to happen. So, oh yeah, that's working beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's an interesting little story about this truck. When I was 13, we were coming back from Missouri and made it to, I can't remember honestly where in Wyoming. It's like 1 in the morning, maybe a little earlier. It was dark, and Mom and I are riding in the PT Cruiser behind the truck here, loaded down way too much stuff, starting with a half a ton of wood stove, and then a U-Haul trailer behind it, and watched Dad hit a bridge, and watched the wheel shear off and just take off into the woods field. And yeah, that was exciting. We had to come back for the wheel the next day. Got towed that night to a little mom and pop hotel. They wound up being some really cool folks. Let us change all the broken parts in the parking lot even. I believe they even let Dad use some tools they didn't have. It's quite a fiasco. All the brake hardware, everything was obviously ground down to nothing from sliding to a stop. We had to go to a junkyard on, it was a Sunday or Saturday, I don't remember. Everybody was closed everywhere we went. Finally found one with all new brake hardware. Got that on there. Went to a shop and had to have something pressed. I don't remember what it was. I was talking to Grandma and Grandpa, staying calm at the time, being a young kid. And yeah, that was quite exciting. I think we were down there for 2 days working on that in the parking lot. And got on out of there. And here we are. So here we are now. The whole reason I even said that is these bearings have been on here since then. They literally took all the weight of that, everything when that wheel sheared off and truck plummeted into the ground. Of course, that was on the other side. As you can see, that worked beautifully. I'll put a collar on here and pull it the rest of the way out. But it was the other side that the wheel sheared off, which I'm a little concerned. Maybe that bearing is in worse shape. I know the axle was. The surface of it was real rough shape, and has a crack on it. Hairline. Can't see the crack on camera, but you can see mess. Oh, good thing those were garbage. Shit, that worked real good. Just like I wanted. Hooray. That's how you do that. So here we are. I forgot to get the last part on video as far as putting it all back in, but it went really smooth. Just did the reverse of what I'd done originally. I even used tools. I was able to kind of put some pieces together and make it work. So it all went back together real nicely, and here they be. And this really set me off for a minute. I had a lot of research I did looking into this. They say with these axle repair bearings, they're okay sticking out up to 1/4 of an inch, and that's right at. Apparently anything else, and it causes interference, which makes perfect sense to me. But who the hell am I, right? So anyway, they do say there's a tapered axle tube on some of these. Looks like I lucked out and this is not one of them, but apparently if you do have the tapered tube, these axle repair bearings will not work. You've got to go with a standard bearing and then seal. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm gonna go get some lunch and wait for help. Gonna have to have a second person with the gear lashing, and I'm really not looking forward to that, so I'll let you know when I start that. Alright, so here we are. It's evening. I did not get as far with the truck as I wanted to today. Come up short on a torque wrench that goes down to inch-pounds to set the preload on my pinion. So it took me a while to source one of those. I think I mostly got the preload set. I'll double check that again in the morning because it's getting dark. Not that you could tell anything about the preload from that last shot. Yep, you can't tell anything. It's getting dark. I learned the hard way after reinstalling the old bearing race that when it starts to get this dark, I need to stop doing things. So that's what we're doing. I'm cold. It's been a long day. Jess is having some car trouble. So when she gets home, I've got to find out what that's about and fix it so she can get back to the valley in the morning. And hopefully it's nothing too wild. It's something to do with the defrost in her car. So we'll see. Alright, so don't look at all that nasty. I'll explain in a minute. I said I'd say how this thing worked. All in all, I'm happy it got through the job. I don't know how many more it'll do. This right here broke. Yeah, I know it's a hack job. Don't need to hear it. But anyway, broke right there. So I had to go back and do it again. That's why all this is so nasty. It's all been re-welded. But moving down, you can see all the paint is flaked off. And that there's a slight roll to it. That is because it both bent and twisted. I don't know if it really picks up on camera. Kinda, a little bit. But yeah, right through here you can see it was just twisting, spiraling. So anyway, we had to take her up, I think a little over 100 torque pounds to get what we needed on the truck. So it was good up to that. Like I say, I'm happy with it. It worked. I hope don't have to use it again. But, you know, good luck on that one. Anyway, that's that. Alright, so there was nobody there to hold the camera when I got it fired up and off the jacks and everything, but she's going good. Get a weird thing getting it into 4 low. I gotta shut it off to get it in or out of 4 low. 4 high and 2 are working just fine. Working real good actually, especially with this cable swap. Going from the vacuum to the cable I should have done that a long time ago. It's well worth it. I believe maybe it's some sort of linkage issue that I'm having at the moment. We'll figure it out later. I'm not gonna ask too many questions at the moment, but we're going out on a test drive now. See how it all works. To take a clip of what I got, but at least on jacks this axle's sounding real good, so we'll get out on the pavement and see how it is. That 4-wheel drive is just been away for so long. It's beautiful, even with these super bald tires. I mean, I don't know how much the front's really doing, to be perfectly honest with you. It's pretty bad. Bella, get back. Yeah, this is mostly going to be a whole bunch of listening to her whine. Just so you know. I'll have to clip some of it probably so that it doesn't annoy it to death. Because it annoys me to death. Oh, it's good to be back, baby. Hey, look, I opened your window. Look, I opened your window. Just like I remembered. The heater is not beautiful, at least not at first. That's They're both off. Oh, crossed up. All the tires. Back in two-wheel drive. And let's go, baby. Still going to be a lot of work left to do. It's got a bent tie rod. I need tires. Got to get new tags on it. And I don't know if it's showing on the video, but this windshield is really hurt. I'll figure out the four-wheel drive shiftage thing. I guess that's pretty much it. Not all that much. I guess it's kind of weekend stuff. I gotta get things wrapped up and get down and get the new shop set up too. So somewhere I gotta work all that into it. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, she seems to be doing just fine. Temp's good. We got good charge. At idle, we've got 40 psi oil pressure. 3/4 tank. Yeah, I mean, all my normal lights that I never got rid of after the engine swap, I'm gonna have to figure them out eventually too. But this one is certainly a work in progress. There's a lot. But she always works. Most of the time. Until she doesn't. And then it's finicky. But this seems to have worked, so I'm gonna run into the store here, and hopefully the next time you see, we're doing something different. Alright, that's gonna be it for Athena in this one. I apologize, I did not start filming until I was partway through the process. I'll do better about that moving forward. I'll try to get some new cameras, make things easier. But if you learned anything, if I made you laugh, if you have any suggestions or something, do me a favor, hit the like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe if you want to see what's coming in the future. There's a whole bunch of things for this truck. Tie rods, got to rebuild the power steering pump, and ball joints, I'm sure, U-joints. Eventually, there's some fun things I'd like to do that aren't a necessity right now, but we'll get there eventually. If that seems like something you want to see, then go ahead and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.